Welcome to the Fighting on Film podcast, the podcast all about classic and obscure war movies, from the Normandy landings to the days of chivalry and swords. If it's been captured on film, we're going to try and cover it. I'm Robbie of RM Military History.
I'm Matthew Moss of Historical Firearms and the Armourer's Bench.
Hello, welcome back to Fighting on Film. Now this week we were delighted to receive an early screener from Strike Media for The Last Front, which is out in UK cinemas on the 1st of November. Check your local listings, and there's no word of any streaming news yet, but when we do get it, we'll be sure to tell you, because we're pretty sure that not many people would have seen this one before the sort of movies released ahead, because we're releasing a couple of days, if you're listening on the day of release, a couple of days before the UK release. So I thought I'd read you out this synopsis, just so you can sort of wet your whistle if you decide to listen or not. This will be a spoiler review. Alarm bells going off there, just in case you want to go and see this one before you listen. So it says, amidst World War I's chaos, a grieving father turns hero, leading villagers to safety while evading a relentless enemy driven by vengeance. It's set in Belgium. It should have said that as well, but it didn't. It's, I mean, it is set in Belgium.
It is.
That is kind of
it's
the crux
set
of
at
the
the
film.
beginning of World War One in Belgium.
Beginning of World War One in Belgium.
It's the Schlieffen is kicking off.
It's Schlieffen.
The Germans are swinging through the Low Countries.
They are.
It's all about to go pear-shaped.
It is, yes. And a reminder again, we have a talk at the Battle of Britain Bunker, all about British Army war movies. Tickets are £5. You can find them on the battleofbritainbunker.com, and we'd love to see you there. So I better jump into the cast this week, because Matt's on production. So we have Iain Glen as Leonard. He's a Scottish-born actor, perhaps best known for his role as Marmont. I didn't even watch it on Game of Thrones.
Seen it.
I've seen a couple of episodes at uni. I didn't get the hype. Not to say it's bad, but it's just not me. We've seen Lord of the Rings.
Dragons
Who
in
needs
it,
Game of Thrones? Yeah, exactly. But he has been in. Glenn has been in some roles that are pertinent to the podcast, playing Tim Page in the 1992 series Frankie's House, which is about Sean Flynn and Page's time in Vietnam. 2007 is the release of Belgium. Into the Storm, 2009. The Diary of Anne Frank in the same year. And in 2023, he had a role in the film Operation Napoleon, which kind of, I think it's like a legal drama that like has a key part of it is them uncovering some lost Nazi plane or something. Do you remember that one? The poster looks very Ice Station Zebra, if you remember that one.
Well, that's no bad thing.
Yeah, and then we have David Calder as Father Michael. He's a very recognisable British character actor. Played Sir Robert King in The World Is Not Enough. He was in Rush, the newest Disney series Rivals that's been heavily promoted, or at least to me. I've seen a trailer for that about every day for the last week. BBC's Time, Inside Number 9 and Call the Midwife. And he also had a role in 2003's Hitler, The Rise of Evil. I think that was a Robert Carlyle Channel 4 one.
Yeah,
that was good.
I think it was. Yeah, not bad one, that one.
Yeah, then we have Joe Anderson as Lieutenant Lawrence, or Lieutenant Lawrence, depending on where you live. Lieutenant, that's it. Lieutenant Lawrence, the film's main big baddie, the antagonist of the piece. He's a British actor, recent roles in Doctor Who. His film work includes Hercules, Control, which is the 2007 Ian Curtis biopic where he played Peter Hook. And in 2023, a war film role in a film called Murder Company that also stars Kelsey Grammer. I think it was one of those straight to streaming ones. You sort of know the kind of movies I'm talking about. Yeah. Then we have Philip Philip Brennickmeyer as Maximilian von Roch. He's Lawrence's dad and the sort of CO of the German troops that beset the town in the movie.
Yeah, he's like a major or something, isn't he?
He's a Dutch lineage, but English-born actor. His family actually created the British clothing store C&A. Just a nice little tidbit there.
Wow.
I know, right? Never thought I'd say that on the show.
Yeah.
He's appeared in many German TV and film roles, such as Aushawk von America, which is a series about Germany in the aftermath of the Second World War, and Western shows such as Sex and the City and an appearance in Mad Men. Then we have Jamie Downey as Adrian. He's Leonard's son. He has only 5 credits, with The Last Front being the latest. He did appear in a First World War short film called Pawns in 2017, and more recently, The Outpost on the CW network in the US. Sasha Luss plays Louise, his Adrian's love interest, and she's a Russian-born actress, and she played Anna in the 2019 film Anna, if you remember that one. And she also appeared in Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, which was done by the same guy that did Leon. I think it was a big box office flop. Remember
Oh,
that?
right.
Yeah. And an all-female action film called Sheroes in 2023. And that pretty
Oh,
much is the cast, really. That's everyone that's important, at least.
hmm. Sounds like
Um,
it. Yeah.
yeah, but no, this is very much Ian Glen's movie. I think
Hmm.
he's off screen maybe 3 or 4 times the entire movie. But yeah, it's a very strong cast. I think. I think they picked well. Everyone does a good job. Matt, you're on production.
I am. So interestingly, this film was developed from a short film, and it was directed by Julian Hyatt Kang Nawi. Apologies for the terrible pronunciation of that surname there. I apologize, Julian. Um, and basically, he's worked on a series of short films from around 2010 through to 2015, with culminating with A Broken Man, which is uh, a kind of condensed version of this story. Um, I haven't been able to find the actual full film, but I watched the trailer. I think the full film's probably been
Yeah,
taken offline.
you can see the development from that into this
Yeah, yeah.
massively.
It's
Yeah.
it's the Germans arrive at his farm, and pretty much what happens in the first act of this film kind of unfolds.
Mm,
And since 2015, it hasn't really had any other credits. So I think what's happened is he's been really working on bringing this to screen.
yes.
It was screened at the Cannes Film Festival in 2016, and it won an award at the World Fest Film Festival in Texas the same year. So I think that's given it the grounds to get made into a full-fledged feature.
Hmm.
And that was taken up by Kinopolis Film Distribution and Dutch Filmworks, and wasn't able to find a budget for this. And obviously, it's only been released in Europe and
Mm.
sporadically elsewhere. We're going to get it in a couple of
We're
days'
really
time when this airs.
hot on the heels of this one. It's a neat thing when you do movies really early. There's a
Hmm.
50-50 chance where there's going to be anything out there for you to talk about.
Yeah,
You
this
kind
is
of drew
very
the
true.
short straw this week with production.
The screenplay was written by the director and also by a lady called Kate Wood. She's had a really interesting career. She began as an actress back in the late 60s. She worked on the 1968 Charge of the Light Brigade as an extra. And then in the 90s, she appears to have moved into writing. She wrote a number of episodes of some crime series, and then she worked on Randall and Hopkirk Deceased,
Oh
2001, the Vic
wow.
and Bob series.
Oh, the Vic and Bob one. That's
Yeah,
nuts. Love
yeah.
it.
Inspector Lindley Mysteries, The Bill, and then more recently she's worked on a couple of rom-com features, small budgeted ones, and she's currently working on a film which is in pre-production called A War of Their Own, which follows the experiences of two women, one older woman and one younger woman, and by the end of the war, one of them's widowed and one of them has met someone, and the
Sounds
synopsis
good.
kind of just explains that it's um, women dealing with the repercussions of war. So that might be an
Is the
interesting one if
title
we.
a riff on the baseball film A League of Their Own? Because that's set in the Second World War as well.
Well, I think this one's a World War One picture, so it's a
Ah,
prequel if so, but I don't think
okay.
it's any
There's
related to
no
the
crying
war.
in baseball. Never get to
Have you
say
seen
that
the
very
series?
often. Yeah, yeah, I like it.
Series was good.
We
Um,
are the women of the All American League. Sorry.
Cinematography was handled by Xavier van der Hoedenslager. Lots of shorts, some documentary work, and then most recently some features. Nothing else within the war movie genre, though.
Hmm.
Similarly, for the music, that was provided by Frederick van der Moedel, who worked on a number of TV series and some shorts. And again, more recently moving into features. So
Mm.
it's on the production side of things, it certainly looks like it's a young and up and coming sort of
You'd
production.
not be able to tell because I think I
No, I
personally, it's
think the
one of the things the movie
cinematography of this
shines
is
on.
really, really
Mm,
nicely handled.
it does.
Um,
Beautiful grading and
I was
lighting.
about to
Really
say that
nice.
the grading's really, really nicely done. Yeah, and that kind of rounds it out. It was filmed in August, late August through to October 2022. So it's been in the can for a while. So post-production, obviously,
Mm.
and also getting the distribution deal probably is has been an
Oh
ongoing
yeah.
process. It was filmed in Le in Belgium,
In
and as
where?
well,
Say that again.
Le, you should know better than I.
Well, how?
Filmed, did you, I don't know. You
I've
give
been
me
to
an admin.
Belgium a few times, but I
Yeah,
wasn't looking at
exactly.
the I wasn't
I've
looking at
been
the
to Belgium all
signs.
of once.
I did
Okay.
when I did the commemorative marches with my World War One World Living History group, I was doing the classic British Army troops thing. I didn't know where the heck I was.
Well, this film was produced in Le, I'm going to say Le, and then also it was filmed in the Boss Forest in and as well as in the Enclos du Hout region of the Walloon Picardy area.
Oh, well, very well done.
So there's some of the kind of filming areas and some of the notes I read they were talking about how they wanted to capture some of the landscape of where they where the actual events would have taken place, the invasion, etc. Although the town that it's focused on, they never really sort of nail down whether it's based on anything in particular or it's just
Yeah,
kind of, I think it's probably more an amalgamation of a
I think
number of
so.
different events like Dinat and some of the other
Yeah, it's easy to tell your own
um,
story then, isn't it?
oh,
I
much
guess.
easier, yeah, and
Mm,
you don't get hung up on historical
minutia.
accuracy, etc., and
Yeah.
people can debate that kind of thing. But yeah, that kind of rounds us out in terms of
Yeah.
production. Again, like Rob said, it's early days for this picture. There isn't a lot of information out there. We don't know budget and we don't know box office. So yeah, I think we can move
Mm.
on and talk about the film as a film.
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, and no one more review this week, no retro review because it's not retro yet. But we were very interested to see what people think when this comes out. So I think we're just straight into the alley tally, aren't we?
This is 5 to Alpha. Contact now. The grid. 852-676. Approximately 4 tanks and 10 APCs moving directly towards the wood. I'm observing. Over.
Hello, Sunray. Fighting on Film has partnered up with warfaremedia.net to give our listeners exclusive discounts on a range of high-resolution Cold War adverts, propaganda, and recruitment posters. From blowpipes to nuclear threats to weapon schematics, Warfare Media has you covered. Visit warfaremedia.net today and use the code FOF20 at checkout for 20% off high-quality Cold War posters. I repeat, FOF20 at checkout. Over.
Roger. Out to you and take action now. Send us SITREP as soon as possible. Over.
It's time for Alley Tally on Fighting on Film.
And some good stuff this week.
Very.
Some exciting stuff. There's a few
Mm.
things I'd like to have seen though.
I know what
Do
you're
you
going to
want to
say because
start?
I've got it in my notes. Yeah, it's obviously, I mean, if you've seen any promotional material for this, it's those Belgian Mausers.
Yeah, the 1889. It's cool.
Yeah, really nice. Really, it's very rare we get to talk about, when we do a First World War movie or a Second World War movie, you're usually talking about Garands, Enfields, yeah, Mausers, like German ones. You
Mm,
rarely get to talk about smaller belligerent nations' rifles, and
yeah.
especially not ones that predate the conflict that they're in. It's lovely. And the way that they're introduced is as the Reverend takes Glen down
Yeah.
into the sort of crypt of the church. And he just goes, "Oh, we're gonna have to fight back." And Glenn goes, "With what? Like some hunting rifles and shotguns?" And he goes, "Oh, look, I've got these." And he just casually opens a little locker.
Where did you get those from, David Calder? Who gave you those?
Maybe the Belgian army were raised or sort of like put on alert during the Franco-Prussian War or something. I'm doing amazing reaching here to try and
Well,
work out
those rifles wouldn't
why.
have been made for another 18 years at that
Oh,
point.
sorry, Mr.
So
Historian over here. You know, all right.
maybe
Sorry.
maybe maybe the Guard Civique like left them there, or maybe that was like a I don't know. I don't know. It's
Maybe.
unanswered
It's
question.
fine. It doesn't even matter. But it's great.
No,
It's great to see them. And
it
they're
is.
kind of, they are Chekhov's rifle.
They
And
are.
there's Chekhov's Model T Ford in this as well, which is just amazing. But yeah, that I mean, but in terms of kit overall, it's quite lean this week
Mm,
in a good way. It's not bogging itself down in like having to be the most World War One movie ever because it's
no.
quite a contained story. So the Germans are
And it
quite well.
also has the benefit of being set before many of the tropes and
Yeah, yeah,
the characteristics of World War One that we come to
yeah. We're
associate with that
still in
and
open warfare
automatically go
here.
to
We're
aren't
still in.
needed.
We're not in trenches yet, which is quite refreshing for a First World
Mm,
War
mm.
film. It's set in Belgium, which is amazing because there's very little in terms of World War One Belgian
Well, we did a bit of
movies.
digging, and you know, there's there's a handful that even
Mm.
bother to touch on it. There's so little, and this I think is probably the first depiction of the
We're
invasion and the
fairly
Belgian
certain.
army in action,
Mm.
because we are treated to a little set piece in the
We
final act,
are.
aren't we?
We are. Yeah, there's a
I
little
I
scuffle in
didn't
the
think
woods.
I didn't think we were going to get that. I would have liked a little bit more. Going to say that now.
Yeah.
I would have
I'll
liked a
say
little bit
more in
more of a
final
set
thoughts
piece.
about that. But it's
Yeah,
lovely to see the
it
Belgian
is.
troops in their sort of navy, but sort of bluish uniforms, and then
Yeah,
I
and
didn't see any top hats. I'm not sure
there
if I
are
did.
some. No, I think
Are
I
there?
saw some.
Oh,
Yeah, some of the leather
fantastic.
hats. Yeah, yeah,
Fantastic. It's the Belgian army, just the drippiest army in that part in that
yeah.
year, yeah, for sure.
The German kit's
Um,
not bad. I'm not an
it's not.
expert. I'm going to
I mean,
preface this by saying I'm not an expert in German kit of this period, but it
from what I
looks pretty
remember
good.
from yeah, from what I remember from my World War One days and researching, I thought it was absolutely fine. You
It's
know.
been a while since I've worked because obviously around the centennial of the outbreak, I did a lot of articles on my website
Mm.
historicalfirearms.info around that, and I did breakdowns of the various
Cheeky plug there.
yeah, my long dormant other website. Lots of breakdowns of kit and weapons of the belligerent nations, and yeah, I think it's pretty good. But
It is
it did leave me wanting some 1870 Belgian Comblains, the little breech
okay.
loaders.
Yeah. Okay.
That would have
Yeah.
been the perfect
Yeah.
rifle to give to Glen and the boys.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That would have made the most sense.
I
And you could have had
thought.
them like fumbling reloads and stuff. That
Mm,
would have been good.
because there's a scene at the start where they kill some prisoners run away
Yes,
from
Guard
the
Civic, yeah,
Germans,
or
Guard
Civic
Civic,
Guard.
yeah. And I thought they might have like come across some of their kit maybe and kitted
Mm,
up. But then again, I'm kind of glad they didn't, you know,
yeah,
because it
yeah.
would have maybe confused things a little bit more. I don't know. But I was screaming out, and I thought we might have got it
Hmm.
in this. I
Go
was,
on,
and Matt knows
go
what I'm
on.
going to say. I was screaming out for a Belgian dog-drawn MG cart to turn up and pepper the
It's
big
the
baddie.
coolest thing the Belgian army
I
has
know.
ever fielded. They're
The
just so
fourth
cool.
the fourth WhatsApp chat was alight with I think Matt said I yearn for dog-drawn Maxims. Which I think everyone does. Probably everyone listening would have loved to have seen
That would have
some
been
good old
incredible in
some
that
good
set
puppers
piece
running.
if a pair of like Belgian Mastiffs had just like
Oh,
rocked up and
yeah.
like a machine gunner had like jumped on the back and just been rattling.
For a minute I thought the dog had just got on the back of the thing. Arr!
Giving it the taps.
I love my Wrexham gun.
Oh, very good.
Raggy?
Oh, there's a couple of other cool things we can mention, firearms wise. The Herr Major has a Mauser C96,
Oh, that's nice to see. Yeah, you don't see a
um,
broom handle very often.
which is cool.
It's not a gun,
Um,
it's a broom handle Mauser.
it's a Broomhandle Mauser. Um, the Big Bad had a P08 Luger,
Yep.
which he clears jams on. Do you see him clearing all
Mm,
those
mm,
jams? Must have been blank,
yeah.
perhaps.
Mm.
And he reloads. Like you see him putting rounds into a magazine. I was
He loves that gun.
stunned,
He's
stunned.
like Charles Dance in The Last Action Hero. He loves that pistol. Absolutely loves it.
Gewehr 98s.
Yep.
What else? The Doctor's wife comes out
Oh,
blasting
yeah. She has a bit of a
with
went the
a.
day well, doesn't she?
She does. She kind of like the Doctor. So the Doctor is the farmer's son's love interest's father.
Mm.
Hope you've
Louise's
fallen
dad.
longer home. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's the posh man in town. He's got the new car. He doesn't feel that a farmer's
He's a
son.
man of means.
He is. He doesn't feel a farmer's son is justified in marrying his daughter. Classic.
and Leonard doesn't think that a doctor's daughter is good enough for his boy. So they're kind of at the same
Yeah,
page
yeah,
there.
but he has a funny way of phrasing it. He's like, you should just not do that. You shouldn't. You just shouldn't marry her. You'll just
Yeah, he
ruin
just
her
kind of
life.
emasculates his own son really early on. You're like, what do you care?
It's like you can see that the obviously that has been written with a lot of more backstory than we actually get to see.
Yeah, I feel like there's some
Because
script editing
we'll
somewhere.
talk about the wife, the ghost wife, in a
Oh,
moment, I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the doctor tells his wife to go and lock herself in the building. I think it's like his doctor's office come house,
Yeah.
and get their pistol. And he returns, but the Germans have already arrived in the town, and they're kind of like running amok a little bit. And a German opens the door, and she like shoots him point blank in the face
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
after
it's brutal.
after the doctor saying no, don't shoot him, don't shoot him, don't shoot him, and
Yeah.
you kind of just
It's
like
it's not quite the
breaks and
axing went
does.
the day well, but it's nearly there.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, how often do we see an FN 1900?
not
I can't,
really.
I can't remember the last time I saw one of those in a film,
Last time
even
I
a
saw one, I was
period film.
playing LA Noir. So this is in that.
Mafia.
So,
Yeah,
or
maybe
Mafia
Mafia one.
game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but
It's
yeah,
good.
and
It's
then
good
she's
though.
quickly shot by the big bad
Yeah. Oh, he
in the
blasted.
face. There's a lot of face shooting in
I
this.
know. I was going to say the movie doesn't shy away from a brutal
No,
death, which I kind of
no.
I think it suits this movie. You know, it's quite visceral, and
Mm.
it's good. But yeah, apart from that, for me this week, it's just nice to see some Belgian depiction because we've just not had any
There's
ever.
the shotgun with the holdout stock,
Oh, that's very nice.
which
Yeah,
Ian 360 no scopes the major with.
he does. Yeah, yeah.
There's like a little
Spoiler heavy this week.
spin and hip fire. We
It's
gave a
called
warning. We gave a
we
warning. It's
did.
fine.
Glen is really on form in this. Really good. I
Mm.
think I said to Matt during watching it, I was like, "There's a point where he could have been a very good Bond.
Yeah, yeah.
He could have
Early
easily come
90s.
off of. He could have easily come off of Pierce Brosnan's run. I think as well.
I wonder if he was one of the many that went up for it
Maybe
after Dalton.
maybe there's a in the Broccoli archives. Maybe there's a Glen audition tape somewhere.
Yeah,
And they would have
doing a
said he's too
360 no
rugged.
scope with a shotgun.
Yeah, they would have said too rugged, like they said to our poor boy Bodie from the Professionals.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Mm.
there we go. And that what a wild way to end the alley tally this week. So into favourite scenes.
Hello there. Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to let you know that you can now join our supporting cast over on Patreon. As thanks for your support, you'll be able to help us pick films, submit questions for guests, have first pick on brand new and exclusive merch, and much more. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show. I found it very tricky to pick one, I must say.
Did you?
Yeah, I quite like the little shootout in the town square
Mm-hmm.
where the townspeople kind of rise up, kind of take on the Frank Tier
It goes a
kind
bit
of
Red
role, don't
Dawn.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So they talk about Frank Tiers quite a lot in the film, and I don't think many people know what that is.
Yeah.
It loosely translates to free shooters or free marksmen, and they're kind of
Oh.
like it was a thing that the Germans were really worried about. Apparently, when they were entering Belgium and the Low Countries, because during the Franco-Prussian War, it had been a thing where the French populace had kind of like joined up with the regular army, and they kind of skirmished. So it was people in like their own clothes. So it's kind of like guerrilla warfare, very early,
like a militia
early.
almost.
Yeah, but
Plainclothes
very
militia.
loosely
Yeah.
organized. It's people
Mm.
just grabbing their firearms and trying to harass the enemy, kind of thing. They were really worried about that, and I think that fear of the Franc-Tireurs also plays in a lot with the reprisals that went on.
Right. Okay.
And I don't think I'm not an expert in this, but from what I've read many years ago, there weren't really that many Franc-Tireurs around.
Okay.
It wasn't the thing that they thought it was going to be. They thought it might be like a popular
Maybe they
rising
might.
and-
They've all joined up essentially. Maybe by that
yeah,
point.
I think everyone
Been
was either too.
mobilised.
It happened too quickly. Everyone was too busy trying to get away back towards the French border, away from the invasion.
Yeah.
Or
Don't
they
go
did join
there.
up with.
I know hindsight. Don't go that way.
Yeah, I love how they're like, oh, the gem will be safe after we reach the French border. I'm like,
Don't go there. Go to Portugal or Spain. Come on.
that's a long walk though. You have to go
I
through
know.
all of France.
It will be
Um,
safer.
that bit's interesting because he mentions at the beginning where I think someone takes a pot shot from a window and they later say in dialogue that it's a young boy.
Mm.
Very Bridget Remargan there.
Yes. The that part that the start confused me a little bit because I was like, I thought we were going to link it back to that very scene and we didn't. So I
No,
was like, okay, fair enough. But I like the fact it showed at the start that there's going to be some fight back. It
yeah,
kind of showed you early. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. For me, I think for me, my favorite scenes are definitely the town battle where they rise up because obviously the movie is kind of sold on this whole, you know, that's it kind of thing.
yes,
And then,
that's the
but
trailer,
obviously
isn't it? It's
that's
it's
the trailer,
Ian Glen
yeah,
running around shooting at Germans
with the
in the
Mauser.
town.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
very good. Um, I love the bit. I like the scenes where they're all struggling with the bolt.
yeah,
It's. I like the attention to detail showing that these are civilians that have just picked a rifle up. Through
sure
kind
it's
of
a reload.
osmosis, a reload, yeah, and osmosis, you
Yeah,
kind of know how to work a bolt. Nice, tightly shot action scenes, and obviously, I did enjoy the ending where the big bad gets his comeuppance because
yeah,
I thought it was very well staged. Not over the top as well. I felt like
mm,
everything everyone did in this movie. I feel like if some guys got their heads together, they could do that. I kind of it
yeah,
based itself in
somewhat believable.
realism.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. Sorry, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, did you think that the chap that arrived was going to some have some bearing on the end of that because he didn't? He just sort of like arrived
It's just an
and
extra body, wasn't he, for the end?
extra man, wasn't it? It was like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah. I
why are
think
we making a?
he was one of the girls' boyfriends or something. So he was from the town.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he
yeah,
links back, doesn't he? Um, but I like, as I was saying, I didn't. I like the fact, they didn't find a cannon or they didn't find like a machine gun or something,
yeah.
and go a bit over the
They
top. I
could have
like,
found they could have found a little Maxim gun on its side. The dogs had run off.
yeah,
Got that back in the fight.
I know
Ian
we're
Glen,
pining
Ian
for a
Glen putting the
Maxim.
dog harness on, running around.
No, no, God, no,
That would have been
that would have been
awful.
awful. Yeah, no, I really liked it. I think the ending was very well done, and I do think, and I'll talk more about it in my final thoughts. But I think the dispatching of the big bad was done very well. It was very
Mm,
cathartic. Because
mm.
he's like Lieutenant Evil in this. He's very
Oh God,
bad.
yeah, yeah.
He's pantomime villain
From
at
the very
times.
first scene,
Oh yeah.
literally 30 seconds into the film, he's
Mm,
shooting unarmed civilians and
mm.
prisoners, isn't he? And then
And
we're
Glenn just gets him on the floor and
mm,
sort of breaks his neck or something, but you don't
seems
see it,
like it.
you hear it. And that was
Mm,
very nicely done. It's just out of shot and it's quite nicely done. And Iain,
mm,
the catharsism and the relief of getting his own back on this man that's
yeah.
destroyed his family was very, very good.
Mm, mm. So
Yeah,
basically turns into a bit of a revenge picture.
becomes Death
Um,
Wish in a way, a little bit,
well, almost. It becomes a bit
tiny
like The
bit.
Patriot, to be honest.
Yeah, it is Patriot vibes.
It's big
Mm,
Patriot vibes because Ian Glenn's son's killed, and then his daughter's gravely wounded, but does survive. And it does have big Patriot vibes,
yeah.
um, although it doesn't rip off Last of the Mohicans in quite such a
No. Yeah,
blatant way.
yeah. This is better than the Patriot, essentially, is what you're saying.
Uh, yeah, in its way. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more believable.
Yeah, exactly. It's more based in realism. Yeah, for true.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting film. I liked all the scenes with David Calder. I really did.
Oh, he's
And
brilliant in it.
he says the title of the film, doesn't he? He
He
goes,
does,
"People
yeah.
at the last front," and I was like, "Oh, oh, oh, oh!"
Yeah.
Title of the film.
It's a little trope. We
Um,
like it. No, Calder's brilliant. I knew the minute I saw him, I was like, yes, love
mm,
Calder. Fantastic.
yeah.
Mm,
Also
mm,
knew he was going to die because that is obviously one of the classic sort of visual references of the rape of Belgium, isn't it? It's the priests being shot. It's women and children being lined up
hmm
and shot,
Yeah, you see an
and
awful
libraries
lot
being
of
burnt and things being looted and stuff.
dead
So
families in this. Yeah, it kind
yeah,
of batters you over the head with it a little bit.
it does.
Um,
They get all those kind of little bits of iconography into
mm,
that little sequence of the town being, and I don't know. That's where it kind of falls apart a little bit for me with the major. He's described as being obviously he's the lieutenant's father,
hmm
so he's kind of almost paralyzed to act in that respect. but also he's a classic German officer, Prussian school
Mm.
of military doctrine and thinking. They're kind of sticklers for the hierarchy of things. You would think he would have put his son,
I've done
in his
something.
place,
Yeah.
taken his gun off him, perhaps, maybe,
I feel like the dynamic
slapped
though.
him,
I like the
anything.
dynamic of kind of like control and like the youth. Almost like that,
Mm,
the dad's got more, that Leonard has got more control over his boy because his boy's younger, a bit more
mm,
green, whereas Von Rauch has lost control of his son because of
yeah.
the power that he's been given. I like this kind of dynamic of power and father
Yeah,
and
and
son. I did quite
the
like that.
dichotomy of the two father
Mm.
and sons as well, and yeah, there's that to it. Yeah, the film tries to do some interesting stuff
I
in
think we're
terms of,
sliding into final thoughts,
oh,
so we
of
might as
course we are,
well.
as
Yeah,
always.
just to let the listeners know that we've done it again.
Slam and it in. Let's go.
They've done it again.
Hello, I'm Al Murray, and you're listening to Fighting on Film, the world's #1 war film podcast.
Yeah, so as I was saying, the film tries to do some interesting stuff with the impact of war on families, obviously,
Mm.
interpersonal relationships, and how they're then affected by war. So obviously, he's already got a complex relationship, Ian Glen's character, with his son.
Mm.
And then we discover um, that she's actually pregnant with his child as well. But she
Yeah.
hasn't, they haven't told her parents her mother's dead, and she'll never be able to tell her that. So you get all these kind of complexities that arise, but I think it does try and beat us over the head a little bit in places. There's
Mm.
that monologue bit after the climax of the film, which
Ugh.
is a bit much.
Yeah. There's some clunky dialogue here and there,
Yeah,
which I would have not had in, but that's just me. I'm a tight 90-minute guy. I'm like,
yeah,
that I'm a
yeah. There
modern
was eight
film viewer,
minutes you could cut
unfortunately.
out this easily,
Yeah, I
definitely.
agree. I agree. I mean, this is where sort of my sticking points with the movie kind of come in.
Mm.
Like, and this is
It's a
just
little
more
bit
me.
predictable in places. Like
Yeah, but I kind of
you
expected
know
that
that his
going
son's
in.
gonna die. You know
Yeah,
that David Calder's gonna get shot.
yeah, I
It's
agree with you.
You know the big bad's gonna die at the end. It's a revenge picture.
And exactly, and that's once you know the tropes, it's a bit obvious.
Mm.
But for me, and this is more of
Does
me.
its best not to make it obvious, but
Yeah, no, I think it does. It does, and the setting and the periodness of it helps it a lot.
mm,
But for me, this is more me as a modern film viewer and how I enjoy and don't enjoy my movies. But with your villains, it's the kind of thing where yeah, they can be pantomime, yeah, they can be overly menacing and evil. But for me, when antagonists become annoying to me in a movie, I switch off to them
mm,
because I just lose my kind of sort of my what's the word, like my fear of them in a way. Is that the right thing to say? Like I'm just sitting around waiting for them to be killed off. It's
yeah,
like when I like what I didn't click with, and I don't really click with the modern superhero Marvel movies, is that all those villains are interchangeable because the heroes are going to win. That's the
mm,
whole
mm,
point of that. It's not like I know I'm thinking about Al Pacino a lot this week, but it's not like because I'm reading his book, but it's not like a devil's advocate thing where this guy that's the devil can do anything, and you're not sure how it's going to play out at the end.
yeah,
It's not like a kind of a cruel sea situation where the baddies are the U-boats and they're unseen and they're mysterious. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Or
Like
the
this is a
sea, yeah.
completely different kind of thing. But then I kind of, but then by the time he had been killed off, I kind of appreciated the way they did it. As I said, they dispatched him in a really underplayed way. There's no big explosion that he goes up in, or he doesn't. I thought he was going to get consumed by the flame or something, or at least he wasn't blown up by a grenade launcher in like Death Wish 4 style. At least we didn't have any of that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, like I mean, to round me out, really, I think it's tightly shot. I think the grading's brilliant. It's nothing you haven't seen in the revenge genre before, but
Mm,
overall,
mm.
I did enjoy it to a point, and I think it's a decent watch. I hope it finds a home here, because Glen is a solid actor and he's always good in
Mm.
everything he's in. I wish it well, and I hope it finds a little cozy little streaming service to sort of get another kickoff when it's finished its run.
I
I
think it
didn't
will.
not enjoy it, but it's just I feel like I've seen all this before, but because it's First World War in Belgium, there is something to it that it sort of has freshness to it.
Yeah, no, I agree there. I agree. I think it will find its home on streaming. It's definitely not a B movie. I wouldn't describe it as such.
No, not at all. No.
It's got a little bit more weight to it. It kind of reaches for some of the more theological, more mindful aspects of war movie.
It's a solid first effort for the director as a
Indeed,
feature.
yeah, absolutely. I'd certainly agree with that. It's really well shot. The cast is good. Glen can really carry it when he needs to. I'm never bored when he's on screen.
No, he's very good.
The direction seems to be really solid as well. So the director clearly knew what he wanted out of this, and I think he got it. I would say that the music, the score was quite good, and it really lifted it in places as well. The German characters were a little bit caricaturish.
I think that's hard to not do this in this day and age, though. A bit.
It is, but it's also a little bit lazy. Like, you can give them a little bit more nuance, but there's only so much you can do.
I would have liked to learn a little bit more about the dynamic between them, the father and son. How is
Where
this
did
gone
that come from?
so awry?
I can just about buy the dysfunction of the father-son relationship, but a little bit more context would have really sold it a little bit better, I think.
Yes,
I think obviously it leans heavily into all those events during the so-called rape of Belgium. Like Dinan, Louvain, those kind of events. So there's a lot of that kind of molded into the one event in the film. And I think what it really highlighted to me was we need more films about the beginning of that war. And I think Belgium has so many stories within those first few weeks that you could easily tell. There's some valiant last stands. There's some really sweeping battles. Like, give me a Mons film at this point. Like, come on. I would love to see that. I really did appreciate that they attempted to show the Belgian army. I really did appreciate that. It's you can see that the budget is being stretched and they can't really do it, but they've tried, and it shows. I think
they've used what they've got, and that was
they have. I think what they do is they have the German. They're essentially like a reconnaissance / prisoner escort element, aren't they? And they're returning back to their battalion.
Yeah.
But they're kind of, things are a bit chaotic. There's elements of that don't sit right. They were probably a little bit more organized than that. And they weren't really cut off. So but they do try and show.
Take your history hat off, Matt. You're doing it. We always said we'd warn each other if we were putting our history hat on. We've not had to do it for 4 years. It's today the day.
I'm taking it off.
Thank God.
It was really nice to see the Belgian army. I did appreciate that. They kind of do it with the major having like a out of body experience where he's like, oh my God, my son's literally insane over here, like shooting people in the face. I'm not coping well with the fact that combat's actually not very nice.
I should have taken the iPad off him when he was young. He said, oh God, too much cocomelon.
And he's probably experienced some Franco-Prussian War PTSD.
Quite possibly. Yeah.
There's lots of Belgians and Germans having sort of like hand-to-hand fight as he moves through this trench. They're not the focus. He is, and then obviously he's dispatched by Glen. I love the fact that the climax of the film is based around the fact that they want to steal back their cart.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can get the wounded out way quicker if we go back and steal the cart. And they're like, yeah, that sounds like a great plan. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And that's a nice little, just small scale thing. Yeah. It's nothing grand. It's not revenge.
I thought Iain and the Belgian Wolverines were gonna counterattack that attack and like beat back the Jerrys.
Yeah.
Beat back the Hun. And I thought they were gonna like the Belgians were gonna be like, oh, cheers, thanks for that. These 4 lads with outdated weaponry and absolutely showing us up. I thought that was gonna happen. I was kind of sad.
Maxim dog's like, thank you.
Well, good job, Iain. Thank you. I think
no problem, Maxim dog.
Anytime. I think Welcome to the Fighting on Film podcast, the podcast all about classic and obscure war movies, from the Normandy landings to the days of chivalry and swords. If it's been captured on film, we're going to try and cover it. I'm Robbie of RM Military History.
I'm Matthew Moss of Historical Firearms and the Armourer's Bench.